And he knew that the light was what the support was. And that helped the other people who wanted the light. He helped them by being in his light. And he somehow knew that all the time, no matter what, we have to go to the light, not focus on the dark and the trauma. And the trauma's there. But if it's forefront, then we can't access it. And one of the things, Viktor Frankl, who wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning, it's one of my favorite quotes. He said, between the stimulus and the response, there's a space. In the space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. And what happens is when we're focused on the trauma or the fear of the trauma or the memory of the trauma, and a lot of us, when energy, frequencies, when they match some trauma, we relive that from the past if we don't heal it. And when we're focused on the trauma, the space of light is replaced by the space of the shadow. And the shadow is what we focus on, which is what's happening so often. So the light is what allows miracles. One person can change things, but it has to be from the space of light. And that's something in our everyday lives that we have to practice, because not all of us in that contrast can go there. But even in our everyday lives, when we get upset about something, do we ask the question, what is making us feel inside? What do we need to learn? What do we need to heal? What help do we need? Or some people say the trauma of our childhood, it doesn't matter. But it does matter, because that energy gets tapped into our neural pathways. And our neural pathways release hormones and neurotransmitters. And it'll cause us to be in fight or flight or cause us to be calm. Because even though we may not remember it, our body does. And so being that light and focusing on being in that light, that divine presence, the presence we get at CLM, the presence with all the healings with Padre and all the other healers, and Bishop Bobby and Dana and all the great, fantastic people. That's the light we want to access more. And we also want to be curious, or are we curious? Do we want to heal? Do we want to feel, or do we want to stay angry? But if we feel, what does it make us feel? That means we have to somehow go to the trauma and get support for us, because we can't do it alone. And so that twinkle is that allows the kindness in the heart. And so my great aunt Ellie, who was just so angelic, it's like she was 88 and she looked so beautiful, and she said she forgave the Nazis, and to her that means she didn't want to have angst in her heart because they knew nothing about life. She wanted to focus on what she could do. She wanted to focus on the divine presence. So she had to let go of all those cords of hatred. And that's what we have to do in our everyday life and what's going on in the world. If we focus on what we hate, how's that helping anyone? Anger is very healthy, but if we just keep getting angry at others and keep ruminating over it, it's toxic. Anger is healthy because it makes us take action, but if we take action at others in anger, then it creates toxicity, and then divine presence is not there. But we have to be curious to want to shift it, and if we're stuck, we have to want to get help to get unstuck, and sometimes it's so hard because then we have to confess there's a problem, and that might trigger us, which my childhood did for me. It's like if you make a mistake, something bad could happen from my mom's lineage. And all of these our bodies have memories of, and so we want to heal it. So body work, mind work, they're all connected. They're all the same. They're all part of the package. The mind, body, spirit. It's so important to heal all three. And it doesn't mean something's wrong with us. It means we have the courage to grow and expand. And do we have that commitment to want to do it? We can't do it alone. We're all connected. We all help each other. We're all a community. My dad and my mom would have been so blessed to have a community of like-minded people who can help create change of light. And they didn't have that. It was silence. So we're in a place where we can look at things. And if we can't look at it, get support. We're really scared to look at it. We need support to help us. Or we can just do our coping mechanisms and stay angry.